I mean, should that poor mother really have been subjected to that?
No, she did it because the head teacher and the police officer and others would have put pressure on her in order to keep the Muslim community happy. Now,
Right.
I honestly applaud that woman. I applaud her for sitting up there and taking the fact that she was surrounded by men there. She was surrounded. You can imagine the head teacher was sitting there. She was worried about whether her son was going to get kicked out. You've got a police officer sitting there. Was he going to arrest this 14-year-old? In the end, they decided it wasn't a crime, but still put it down as a hate incident. And remember, this happened in Wakefield, 10 miles down the road in Batley, 2 years ago now, right? Yeah. A teacher who showed a cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad, right, has had to go into hiding. And I can tell you tonight that he has had to change his name.
Mm-hmm.
He has disappeared from the area and he's changed his name. This whole kind of Muslim bullying, which is going on in the name of the Prophet Muhammad, is wholly unacceptable in our country.
Quite literally. Yeah. But the thing is, though, isn't it, which is if we really look at the problem, right, we really look at the problem. We've got a teacher at a school who has had to go into hiding, presumably with his family, get a new identity, lose his job. We've got a 14-year-old autistic boy here who I don't see how he can carry on at that school, by the way, given the fact that he's had death threats and goodness knows what might happen to him. I very much doubt he's going to be able to continue to go to a school anywhere in that area. His mum has had to front up at a local mosque. I'm sorry, Kelvin, but the problem here is staring us right in the face, is it not?
Yes, and if you know anything about autism and anxiety are hand in hand. The mother says he's in a terrible shape. I can absolutely believe this. So what is going to happen? We don't need to be a genius to work out who made the death threats to him, do we? I mean, to be honest, I don't know for certain. Perhaps we could get that police officer and that idiot head teacher to come on your show and explain why they would effectively force that mum to come on there.
Yeah. Do you not think that actually we should, as a nation, say to certain elements of the Islamic community, we are in Great Britain, just in case you were wondering, we do not have blasphemy laws here, and whilst we are very respectful of you and whatever beliefs you may have, we do not prosecute someone who is a child who kicks your religious book. And if you are angry about that, frankly, I suspect you need to grow up.
Right. Well, the reason that this trial, this honestly a mosque trial of this poor mother took place was to stop a replication of what happened at Batley, which was that the Muslim community all gathered outside the school. I'd say, yeah. And what is the issue? You know, this was a 14-year-old kid who made the smallest of small mistakes. He only brought along the Quran to the school because he lost a Call of Duty video game. It's at this level, but it wasn't treated at this level by these very odd Muslim worshippers. I find it, and do you know what? I'm so pleased that, say, GB News, me, a few of the others, the Times, the Telegraph, not the Sun, by the way, not the Sun. So the popular working class paper didn't cover it, right? And I don't think the Mirror did either. That is shocking. So mainstream media at the top end, fantastic. At the bottom end, very, very poor, right? Why do we have to? Right? And apart from GB News, not the BBC, not Sky, not ITV, and in not fact, Channel 4,
but Kelvin,
nobody covers it.
Kelvin, I'm sick of this stuff because we see it time and time again. We had grooming gang scandal in Telford. The BBC only chose to put a couple of stories down on their local Shropshire page. You had to go looking for, at the time, what was at the time the UK's largest ever grooming gang scandal, OK? You've got situations going on in Batley, or you've got situations that take place where, for example, the situation in Manchester, where Salman Abedi, the Manchester bomber, attended the Disbury Mosque, OK? And they are now coming out, and instead of really reporting the fact that the families and this inquiry suggested that the mosque had a lot to answer for there, the headlines that you'll see on the BBC are mosque defended itself, mosque feels victimised about all this stuff. And I am deeply concerned now that what Suella Braverman has said is true, which is that in the pursuit of political correctness, we are ignoring some very, very dangerous stuff here.
It's taken a long time to get to that position. After all, the Rochdale groomers, they said all that about 4 years ago. That the only reason that they hadn't arrested these people, these paedophile pigs, in a wholesale manner was simply because they were of a religion which they thought would cause a problem in the community. The cops and the head teachers and these people in the public sector should understand that we, the people funding their jobs, want action. They don't want to see this kind of behaviour. They do not want to see, they never want to see again, a mother forced, and I say forced, to appear in a mosque in front of what I imagine, as we all know, is a group of Muslim men. Why on earth should that woman have to basically apologise for 3 minutes in that way? It is shocking. And the other thing that's shocking is, why isn't this a national scandal? Why isn't everybody as annoyed as, say, you and I are?